That may have done it. Let's see. Still not working. Oh, here we go. Okay. I think we're live. Okay, I think we got it. Let me just minimize this. Mute it and minimize it. Okay. All right. Can you hear me as well? I think we're good. Bismillah. So sorry everyone about the late start. Had some technical difficulties. Let me share my screen. Okay, can everyone see me and hear me? I'm waiting for confirmation from the organizers to help me to make sure we can be seen in here. So sorry about the delay. My name is Ehsan Mafi. Welcome to the Wiladat and Nowruz program, sponsored by Al-Zahra, or hosted by Al-Zahra Islamic Center. We're gonna spend some time this evening going over what's been going on in the community. We're gonna celebrate the birthday of Imam Hussein, Imam Zain al-Abidin, Hazrat Abbas. We have our guest speaker, Sayyid Baqir Qazwini, that's going to give us a wonderful speech. And then we have some a little fundraiser to run with some prizes as well. Excuse me while I just check to make sure we are all good. Okay, so it looks like we got audio and visual. Apologies again for the delay. I rehearsed a couple times, so I apologize for that not working as smoothly as I had hoped. But this is the general layout, what we're going to talk about after recitation of Quran. We'll have our guest speaker, Sayyid Baqir, speaking. We'll talk about what we've accomplished so far, constitution and governance, building and permitting, budget and fundraising, and then the Sunday school proposal at the end. Sayyid Baqir, I'm sorry, I know you do QIR, and I just realized that I didn't fix that. I think I fixed it, but then I may have unfixed it. So before we continue, I'm going to make sure that these videos are working, and we're going to start with the recitation of the Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inshallah, this will work, and then we'll get to the rest of the program.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين. لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم. ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون. فما يكذبك بعد بالدين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Excellent. So, Sayyid Baqir needs no introduction to this community. You have all been blessed with his presence before when he spoke at Al-Fatima. I don't want to take up too much of his time. He has a hard stop at 6:30. So, Sayyid Baqir, I will let you take it away, and I'll give you the screen.
Thank you, my dear brother Ahsan. May Allah bless you and your efforts. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I sincerely congratulate you on the birth of the three moonlights, the Qamars of Bani Hashim, Al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam, and Al-Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to illuminate our hearts and minds with their light, with their knowledge, with their wisdom, with their patience, and all their amazing virtues. Secondly, my dear brothers and sisters, I would like to sincerely congratulate you on the day of Nowruz. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this a blessed year, a year that brings us relief, that brings us healing, because we've all had a very difficult year with the pandemic. And thirdly, my dear brothers and sisters, I sincerely congratulate you on the launch of Al-Zahra Islamic Center. This is a very historic and joyous moment in your community and also for me and for many believing brothers and sisters. So on these three occasions, I would like to extend to you my sincerest congratulations. My dear brothers and sisters, as we start the new year and as we are celebrating the birth of these three moonlights of Bani Hashim, I would like to share with you the lessons that we can learn from Surah Al-Asr and see how we can be inspired by the legacy of these three amazing personalities and figures. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states in the Holy Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wal-Asr. Allah makes an oath in the Asr. One of the meanings of Asr is time. God is taking an oath in time. And whenever you see a qasam in the Quran, an oath, take it seriously. Because your Lord, the creator of the universe, is bringing your attention to that oath. Time is very valuable. It's the greatest asset Allah has given you. It's your capital. What's your capital in this life? Your life is composed of minutes, seconds, hours, weeks, days, months, and years. Every minute that goes, your capital is decreasing. Every month, every year that goes, that capital is decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. Therefore, the next verse states, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. The human being is at loss. Why are we at loss? Because we're losing this capital. So what do? Are we doomed? The Holy Quran gives us a course of action. The Holy Quran tells us to hold on to 4 things and we'll make it. We'll be saved. We will not be at loss. So Allah makes an exception. The human being is at loss. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Except for إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Those who have iman. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Do good deeds. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. They enjoin on one another to uphold the rights and the truth. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. And they enjoin to one another to be patient. They work as a team. They collaborate. They work together to be patient. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us in this beautiful chapter that if you do these 4, then you shall be saved. And this is what we learn from these holy personalities. When you look at Iman, you remember Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. You remember his courage, his solid faith. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam describes his uncle. He states, كَانَ عَمُّنَا الْعَبَّاسِ نَافِذَ الْبَصِيرَ صَلِبَ الْإِيمَانِ. Our beloved uncle Abbas was sharp in his inner vision. صَلِبَ الْإِيمَانِ. He was very solid in his faith. Nothing could stop Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas from defending the Imam of his time, from defending the truth. You know, on the night of Ashura, Shimr came to the tents of Imam Hussein and he called on Abbas and his brothers. Abbas didn't want to answer him, but Imam Hussein alayhi salam told him, it's okay, go see what he wants. He comes out, Shimr, what do you want? He told him, I brought you amnesty, you and your brothers, because you're the sons of al-Banin, and al-Banin came from the same tribe that Shimr came from. So he was a distant relative to them. He told them, leave Hussein and I guarantee your safety. Many of us, when we're stuck, we just want a way out. Even if that way is not an ethical way, right? Or when we want this dunya, when we want something, we're selfish. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas told him, may God curse you and your amnesty. You give me protection, you give me amnesty, and the grandson of Rasulullah has no protection? Never. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas was firm, was like a mountain. This is what we learn from the legacy of the Qamar of Bani Hashim. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. They do good deeds. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. They enjoin on each other rights. One of the meanings of haqq is huquq, rights. We all have rights that we have to observe. Imam Zayn al-Abidin beautifully teaches us what those rights are in the Risalat al-Huquq, the Treatise of Rights. Read it, my dear brothers and sisters. Study it. Imam Zayn al-Abidin changes and transforms the way you see the system of rights. Many of us, when we think about rights, especially in the West, we are self-centered. We are selfish in how we think. When we think of rights, we always think, what's in it for me? What do I get? Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam teaches you, that's not how you see rights. You are surrounded with rights that you have to release yourself from. You have to fulfill them. He changes our outlook. That's why Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam teaches us that when you give money to the poor or to an institution or you donate, you should be more thankful to that poor person than that poor person being thankful to you. Why? Because Allah has put a right on you that you have to give some of your money to charity. This is a right because you don't own your money. We think we own our money. It all belongs to Allah. To free yourself from this right, you have to give the money to the poor, to the charitable projects. When you find a poor person and you give them money, you should be more thankful to that poor person because that poor person helped you fulfill your right, helped you release yourself from that right. Thank that person. If we saw the world that way, believe me, the world would be a different place. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. And they enjoin on each other patience. And no one teaches us patience like Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He inspires us. Many of us are going through difficulty, my dear brothers and sisters. It's been a tough year. I just read yesterday in an article that during the pandemic, suicide rates amongst the teens and young adults has tripled. We need patience. We need faith. Imam Hussein alayhi salam shows us patience on the day of Ashura, such that Imam al-Mahdi in Ziyarat al-Nahiya, he states, لَقَدْ عَجِبَتْ مِنْ صَبْرِهِ مَلَائِكَةُ السَّمَاءِ. The angels of the skies, the heavens, they were shocked at the patience of Hussein. The angels who've seen everything that happened in this history of humankind, from Adam to the Khatam to our day today. They've seen all the calamities and the tragedies, but they were shocked at the patience of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein alayhi salam inspires us to be patient. This is what we learn from them, my dear brothers and sisters. Now, how do we uphold this chapter today, practically? As we are starting a new chapter in our community, alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My dear brothers and sisters, the message of Imam Hussein, Abu al-Fadl Abbas, Al-Imam Zayn al-Abidin, peace be upon them all, the message of Surah Al-Asr: support such institutions. Otherwise, you'll be at loss, because the Quran states, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. You are going to be doomed. You have to do something. You have to make the effort. Let us support this wonderful initiative, this institution, Al-Zahra Islamic Center. This is a place that we can go to for social support, for religious support, for education. A place that will secure the future of our younger generations. Let's support it now so that we will not be at loss. Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam teaches us there are rights on you. Observe these rights. Free yourself from these rights. And one of the greatest rights on us is to support such amazing initiatives. My dear brothers and sisters, many have collaborated and worked hard to make this institution a reality, alhamdulillah. We know that in your wonderful community, there are hardworking people who work tirelessly for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Al-Zahra Islamic Center is the result of these wonderful efforts. I would like to acknowledge specifically the Afghani community, who has really sacrificed, who has put in so much time and effort, whether through volunteering, whether through their financial support, whether through their moral support, through all types of support. I would like to acknowledge their hard work. And this would not be possible without their hard work. But this is a community effort. Many brothers and sisters have participated in this project to make it a reality. And the vision of this community center is to be inclusive, is to welcome everyone to the ship of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, to work as brothers and sisters to uphold the spirit of brotherhood that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam brought to humanity. And that's why the brothers and sisters have decided in the bylaws, in the constitution, as you shall see inshallah, that 80% of the programs will be in English. Because we understand that this is the language of our land. This is the language that our children are thinking in, communicating in. And this is the language that unites all communities, so that we can all come together as Afghanis, Iranis, Iraqis, Lebanese, Pakistanis, other nationalities. We can all come together and benefit from these great programs. And it is my hope, and I am confident, that inshallah the organizers will carry on this vision and to give the priority to the English programs, so that we can secure the future of our younger generation, and so we can build an ideal community. And I ask the dear elders of our community, we need your support. Help the youngsters, motivate them, encourage them. Before they come to you and ask you that we want English programs, you tell them, let's have English programs. We will support this initiative. We will support your schools, your programs, because they are your future. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches us in Surah Al-Asr that we will be at loss unless not only we have the iman, but وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, we show that. We uphold the truth together. We uphold patience together. So it is my greatest hope that inshallah the elders of the community will come together and they will motivate our youngsters to carry the torch of Islam, the torch of Ahlul Bayt, and to make this a wonderful community center that welcomes everyone. So I would like to congratulate you on this wonderful achievement, on this wonderful new chapter. Inshallah, this will serve as a beautiful new chapter that will unite us all and bring us closer to the path of Ahlul Bayt. I know in the past there have been challenges, but Allah tries us with challenges. And during these moments, we start a new chapter and we uphold the message of Islam and the message of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I sincerely congratulate you all on this wonderful occasion. My dear brothers and sisters, I will conclude with a short message in Farsi to the elders of our community. دوستان عزیز، السلام علیکم و رحمت الله و برکاته. اولا عرض تبریک می کنم به مناسبت ولادت ماههای سگانه و این اعیاد شعبانیه، تولد آقا امام حسین صلوات الله علیه، تولد آقا امام زین العابدین صلوات الله علیه، تولد آقا ابوالفضل عباس صلوات الله علیه. نسأل الله أن يرزقنا شفاعتهم و زیارتهم. دوما عرض تبریک میکنم به مناسبت سال نو و عید نوروز. دعا میکنم که انشاءالله این سال خیر و فرج می باشد. میدونم که این سال اخیر خیلی سخت بود، اما الحمدلله خدا کمک میکنه و خدا کمک کرد. سوما دوستان عزیز، عرض تبریک میکنم نسبت به شروع این مؤسسه دینی الزهرا اسلامیک سنتر، مؤسسه حضرت زهرا سلام الله علیها. امیدوارم که خدا این تلاش ها رو قبول بکند. اما دوستان عزیز، خدا در قرآن میفرماید که انسان در خسارت هست. والعصر ان الانسان لفی خسر. جز این چارتا اینا در خسارت نیستن. الا الذين آمنوا، اینایی که ایمان دارن، و عملوا الصالحات، زحمت میکشن، عمل میکنن، و تواصوا بالحق، توصیه به حق میکنند، و تواصوا بالصبر، توصیه به صبر میکنند. بیاییم دوستان عزیز این مسجد را بسازیم با اخلاص، با همکاری، همونطوری که اصحاب پیغمبر صلی الله علیه و آله مسجد پیغمبر را ساختن. این جامعه رو ناجح بکنیم با اخلاص، با تقوا، با ایمان و با عمل صالح. بیاییم روح اسلام را در این مرکز به کار ببریم. من از همه مسلمان ها دعوت می کنم شرکت کنند در این برنامه ها، شرکت کنند در این الزهرا اسلامیک سنتر. بیاییم دست این جوان ها رو بگیریم. اینها آینده ما هستند دوستان عزیز. دعم معنوی، دعم مادی به اینا بدیم. من میدونم دوستان عزیز که زبان مادریمون خب خیلی عزیز است. من زبان مادریم عربی هست. خب این زبان خیلی عزیز است. زبان قرآن هم هست. برای بعضیامون زبان فارسی و داری و پشتو اینا زبان مادریمون هست و واقعا من از زبان فارسی اصلا لذت میبرم، شعرهای فارسی، اصطلاحات فارسی. اما دوستان عزیز، زبان انگلیسی زبان این کشور هست، این جامعه هست. این زبان همه رو جمع میکند. اهل بیت چرا پیروز شدند؟ بذارید فکر بکنیم. اهل بیت اصلشون عربی بود، اما اهل بیت تونستن به همه برسن، حواجز رو از بین ببرن. لذا الان امروز در کره زمین اکثر مسلمان ها عرب نیستن. سرشون چی بود؟ اهل بیت. در اون زمان اهل بیت در یک فضایی بودن که مردم توجه نمی کردن به مسائل انسانی، مردم توجه نمی کردن، مردم نجات پرست بودن. نجات پرستی یک مرضی بود. اما اهل بیت توانستن که این مرض رو از بین ببرن. همین آقا امام زین العابدین سلام الله علیه که تولدشون هست، مادر آقا امام زین العابدین از نژاد دیگری بود، از نژاد فارس بود، عرب نبود. خیلی از ائمه اطهار مادراشون از آفریقا بودن. امام زین العابدین علیه السلام 100,000 تا برده ایشون خریدن، به اینها دین یاد دادن، آموزش بهشون دادن، بعد اینها رو آزاد کردن که رفتن اسلام رو منتشر کردن. اسلام اینه دوستان عزیز. ما باید همه رو با چه دیدگاهی ببینیم؟ با دیدگاه انسانی. و انشالله من امیدوارم در این مرکز الزهرا همه رو با دیدگاه انسانی ببینیم. یک روز پیغمبر صلی الله علیه و آله نشسته بودن با اصحابشون، یک جنازه رد شد. پیغمبر ایستادن، میخواستن احترام بکنن به این جنازه. اصحاب پیغمبر به پیغمبر گفتن این جنازه یهودیه، چرا شما پا شدید؟ نیاز نیست احترام بکنید به یهودی. پیغمبر یک جوابی دادن، واقعا این جواب یک دانشگاهه. پیغمبر فرمودن الیست نفسا، این نفس نیست؟ انسان نیست؟ ببینید پیغمبر ما رو یاد میده همیشه بقیه رو از دیدگاه انسانی ببینیم. و انشالله این مرکز الزهرا این فضا رو بر ما درست بکنه که همه رو جمع بکنیم، همه رو با دیدگاه انسانی و ایمانی ببینیم. و من امیدوارم و دعا میکنم که خدا دستمون رو بگیرد و تبریک میکنم خدمت عزیزان ولادت آقا امام حسین سلام الله علیه مجددا و امام زین العابدین و ابوالفضل عباس، و این مشروع مبارک رو هم خدمت دوستان عزیز تبریک میکنم. خدا حفظتون کنه انشاءالله، خدا توفیقتون کنه بده انشاءالله، خدا بلا و وبا از شما دور بکنه. و السلام علیکم و رحمت الله و برکاته.
Sayyid, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Your Farsi is 10 times better, 20 times better than mine.
I'm struggling with it. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Allah bless you. التماس دعاء. خدا حافظ.
Fi aman Allah. All right, let us go to the next slide. So there is a fundraiser component to this speech. We're going to get into the community update, how the building is doing, what we need, the Sunday school proposal, but we want to make sure that we let you know that there's some prizes for like a raffle sweepstakes type thing where you can kind of enter with your donation into a pool of getting possible prizes. So if you go to Al-Zahra I just realized that the YouTube video is not embedded there properly, so you're probably on YouTube. But if you go back to Al-Zahra all one word, no dashes, there's a donate button and there's a pledge button. Donate will take you straight to PayPal. For a pledge, if it's something a larger amount that you don't necessarily want the processing fee of PayPal to go out, or you don't have the money right now, but you definitely want to contribute, hit either of those buttons. Pledge will take you to a short form. PayPal, even if you don't have a PayPal account, you can pay with a credit card or debit card. So we've been, these prizes have been generously sponsored by Ahlul Bayt Tours, because we're thinking of how can we kind of incentivize. Obviously, we do this fi sabilillah for Sadaqah Jariyah, and our reward is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's kind of nice to get some stuff, you know, for your contribution, or at least get a chance to win some things for your contribution. And so this is going to be retroactive. We've had many in the community that have already very generously donated. They will automatically be put into this sweepstakes. And it's not just today. Anyone that contributes, as long as we get the deposit, the cash into the account by April 1st, they will also be a part of this prize selection. So we'll start from the bottom and we'll work our way up. All of these gifts from Ahlul Bayt Tours are from the Imam Hussein shrine. So from the shrine of Imam Hussein, these turbos in particular were dug up when they were doing the expansion. So this is as close to the shrine as you could possibly get without going under. As they were picking a way to do the expansion, these turbos are from there. We have 10 of them available. And so for any contributions that are 250 or above, you'll be put into the pool to win one of these 10. and everything is tracked through PayPal or through the pledges. We have a treasurer who's going to make sure that everything is kept track of, and we'll reach out to you if you're the lucky winner. We'll keep it discreet. We're not going to do it. In other words, we're not going to announce winners today. We're going to keep it discreet, and then the window is open until April 1st, and everyone that has already donated will also automatically be entered into these sweepstakes. So this perfume is from the Dari of Imam Hussein. There we have 2 of them available, and so with a donation of $500 or more, you will also be entered to possibly win one of these. I'm not sure how big the bottles are, but it smells really good, and it actually took me back to my time at Ahlul Bayt Tours in 2018 when I went. And you could have a chance to win it with a $500 donation. The next step up, this is I think it's marble or stone, but it's from Imam Hussein's shrine with the 4 quls on it, and we have 3 of them. They come with the necklace. 2 of them are pretty much similar. The one on the right is a little more orange, as you can see. And so with a donation of $1,000 or more, you'll be put into the sweepstake to possibly win one of these 3 necklaces. And then we have rings that are made from the marble of Imam Hussein's shrine, 1 men's and 1 women's. These are the best of the rings that Ahlul Bayt Tours had, and they very generously donated. 1 for men's, 1 for women's. $2,500 donation or more will get you a raffle ticket, basically, for a chance to win one of these. And then the 2 big ones is a large chunk of marble that was removed during renovation. It's the keystone thing that Ahlul Bayt Tours had available that they generously sponsored. With a $5,000 donation, you could have this. I should have taken measurements. It's pretty significant. It's like a big piece. It's about this big. I've seen it myself. One of a kind. So with a $5,000 or more donation, you would be eligible to possibly win that. And then the top tier prize is a ziyarah trip with Ahlul Bayt Tours for 1 person, not for a couple. I got to make that clear. For 1 person in February, as soon as February of next year, for a donation of $7,500 or more. So huge thanks to Ahlul Bayt Tours for sponsoring all these prizes. Again, if you have already generously donated, you'll be automatically entered, and you have until April 1st to get your name cash in hand. The deposit has to be made by April 1st for you to be eligible. So let's talk about what Al-Zahra Islamic Center, or AZIC as we call it for short, has accomplished so far. We are a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization. Everything that AZIC owns is under the nonprofit. So when we secure the building, inshallah, which we'll talk about, the bank accounts, donations, all that, nothing is under a single individual. We make sure that everything is done through the nonprofit. We are also authorized to collect khums ijaza for all maraja. So and we also have permission to have 100% of it go to the AZIC. I'll just say AZIC until the building and renovation is paid for. After that, then there's going to be, I believe it's 50 or 50, or it'll be negotiated, but we do get 100% up until the building and renovation are completed. The permit to operate as a place of worship, we'll talk about that. We've been going through that process, so we're waiting for that certificate. We've done our part, and we're accepting donations and pledges online, as you've seen, alzahraislamicCenter.com. Apologies again for the embed not working. That was totally my fault. And we had a kickoff meeting to receive board approval for this community update because everyone was wondering what's going on. And it's time we let you know how far we've come. So let's first talk about constitution and governance. We're going to keep it pretty high level because the details are still being hashed out. It's not fully finalized, but what we do know right now is that the board is made up of Haj Hashimi, Mustafa Jawanshir, and Brother Jafar Roshan. And these board members were selected, not elected, because we're just starting the nonprofit from nothing. So these were selected by the community, and then afterwards, everything will be an election voted by the members. So Haj Hashimi representing Kandahar and southwest of Afghanistan, and you can see here, Mustafa Jawanshir, Kabul and northeast, and Brother Jafar, individuals from central Afghanistan. And then each of them, so they're the board, and we want to keep it equally distributed. So there's no, everyone has equal say, equal voting rights, that sort of thing. That's what we're going for. That's the goal. And the officers, there's going to be 6 other officers that will be called management. So each of the board members get to pick 2 officers. Again, they will be selected, not elected to begin with, as we're starting out. then those will also have to go through elections as we move forward. But this kind of keeps the balance of power fair and equal as we begin the center. On the membership side, these are rough things that we figured out so far. We have membership dues. We don't know the amount or many details, but we know it's going to be an annual thing. We'll probably do it on Eid al-Fitr. And so this year it's going to be May 13th or 14th. That's what we're hoping for. General body meeting once a year, second Saturday of Ramadan is the initial layout. And then for voting on proposals, you have to be a member for 12 months. So that prevents people from, joining at the last minute to swing a vote one way or the other. 2/3 of members must be present to vote on a proposal, and then 2/3 of them must approve a proposal to pass. And that's as far as we have things that are ironed out. Oh, and then the other big thing is this. So Sayyid mentioned it already, but we want to make sure that the center, we're in America, our kids grew up here, they speak English first, and we really want to make sure that when we're spreading the message of Imam Hussein, we're doing it English first. We can obviously have Farsi. I think Sayyid already used up all of the the entire portion of the 20%, but this is what it looks like by volume. This is an accurate representation to the pixel. I made sure of what 80% English looks like versus 20% Farsi, and I did not center the English, but that's what we're going for. So it's very important that it's accessible to everyone, to all lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, and because we're in America, we're going to go English first with 20% Farsi distribution. All right, so let's talk about building and permitting. So again, as far as constitution governance, that I know that's a very high level. That's all we have ironed out so far for sure. And then, we'll work out the details later, but it's still in process. Building and permitting. So this location was a former church in Voorheesville. I hope I'm saying that right. Oh, and it's 20 minutes east of Albany, but it's 5 minutes from Crossgates Mall. So it's actually not as far as it sounds. It's on a plot of 4.8 acres, and the building size is about 6,700 square feet. There are some pictures of the interior that I didn't get to, but now this was a place of worship, but because the church had been unoccupied for so long, we had to reapply for a permit as a place of worship. So as far as timeline, this is basically what it's going to look like. We got town approval from the town of New Scotland. We did the meetings. We did what we had to do. County approval is almost in the bag, and so we're between county approval. We've done everything on our end. We're just waiting on them, and then closing on the building, which we're hoping to do by the first week of April. After we close on the building, then we get the keys. It's in our hands. Code inspection is the next step to make sure we can occupy the building, and then renovation work begins. I'm just checking to make sure everyone can still hear me. So we're about in this step where that orange highlight is. And so let's talk a little bit about budget and financing. What's it going to take? And what's the money for? So obviously acquiring the building is the first step. Doing the renovations, there's two kinds. There's just enough to pass code inspection, and then there's upgrading the building as well. Then there's programs, right? Speakers like the Sayyid, things for Ramadan, for Muharram, for Nima Shaban, events around the year, and then for the Sunday school. And this is a beautiful picture that was shared with me of the Outside Ashura program that the community conducted, which I thought was really beautiful in this black and white photo. I wasn't here for it, but I heard it was amazing, and I've seen some videos of it. And I just wanted to remind everyone, why we're doing this. The purpose is we can do things like this. We have plenty of room outside when it's nice, but we live in the Northeast. It gets really cold, and with this building, inshallah, we can secure a place indoors for us to continue to have these programs year round, rain or shine, warm or cold. And so I also want to reminisce a little bit by bringing a presentation by Brother Mujtaba and a little bit of poetry in Farsi. So let me spin that up. And we can remember what it was like when we used to all gather.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد شعبان که همه سرور مهر است و صفا باغ است گلهای الهی ولا هم عطر حسین دارد و عباس و علی هم عطر علی اکبر و مولود خدا شعبان شد و پیک عشق از راه آمد عطر نفس بقیت الله آمد عطر نفس بقیت الله آمد با جلوه سجاد و ابوالفضل و حسین یک ماه و سه خورشید در این ماه آمد یک ماه و سه خورشید در این ماه آمد اللهم صل علی محمد و آل محمد اللهم صل علی محمد و آل محمد اللهم صل علی محمد و آل محمد شعبان که مه سرور هر مرد و زن است تابان ز وجود جلوه پنج تن است تابان ز وجود جلوه پنج تن است میلاد علی اکبر و سجاد و ابوالفضل و حسین ام مولد پاک حجت ابن الحسن است میلاد علی اکبر سجاد و ابوالفضل و حسین ام مولد پاک حجت ابن الحسن است اللهم صل علی محمد و آل محمد اللهم صل علی محمد و آل محمد.
Thank you so much, Mushtaba. So imagine we could have these kind of events indoors and in person, but it's not cheap. So what we're looking at for the building for renovations is about 500K. Landscaping is a one-time thing that we have to do to get the permit. So in order to get the permit, the city or the county wants us to do certain landscaping with like specific shrubs and local greenery. That's kind of a one-time thing. Building maintenance, this is an annual thing. So we're estimating about 15K with snow plowing and trimming and all that sort of thing. There's closing costs. There's other things that come up that I'm sure we're not thinking about. And so we're really talking about 550,000 for the initial cost to secure this building and to run it for a year. Alhamdulillah, we've raised from very generous donators 225K. And if our target is 550, that means we're about 40% funded. So we've come a long way. We also have people from outside of the community donating generously as well, because starting a Shia masjid is something that everybody wants to help out. And so this is our opportunity to kind of bring that up and close the gap as much as we can, inshallah, for our own benefit, right? A lot of times, like the Sayyid said, like all the risk we have is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's just a test to see how much we're willing to sacrifice. The example I always give is that, you know, when you have children, sometimes you'll give them a cookie, you'll give them a toy or something, and then you'll ask them if you can have a bite. And it's not because you want the cookie, you have plenty of cookies, you bought the whole bag of cookies. You just want to see how selfless this little child that you're raising has become, and if they're willing to sacrifice a little bit of what you gave them. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward us 10 times over, 70 times over in this life and the hereafter, just for giving up a little bit of what he himself gave us. So the amount that you can give is inconsequential. The point is you want to give something that you can stretch yourself, where it does feel like a sacrifice, where you may have to give up something. that you were planning on doing maybe this year, or money you were planning on spending, and to be willing to give that up for the sake of the community so that we can all enjoy a space together is a big deal. And that won't go unnoticed and it won't go unrewarded. So let's talk about the Sunday school proposal. I hope you guys all love this stock art that I've been peppering this presentation with. So I've been tasked with being in charge of the Sunday school proposal, and I know you may have some questions about who I am and what the plan is and how you can help. So we're going to get into that. So who am I? My name is Ehsan Mafi. I am the son of Professor Muhammad Mafi and Simin Kalbasi. So I've been in California for about the last 10 years. That's what I looked like when I was younger, pre-beard. And, you know, I grew up in this community, but it's been a long time. I left maybe 14, 15 years ago, and I've just moved back recently. So I know the area. I know a lot of the OGs when, you know, the community was first starting out, but I haven't been around in a while. But as far as qualifications, while I was away, you know, I did do a lot of things with children. The reason is my mother's home daycare was a very successful business she ran since I was 2 years old. I started saying from 12 because that's when I actually was kind of old enough to help out in the summertime, full time. But I was around kids ever since I was 2 years old myself. That teaches you a lot about children, about human behavior, psychology, about negotiation, compromise. You learn a whole bunch of things when you work with children, as anyone who's worked with children knows. So I pegged that at 10 years of experience before I went off to college. Sayyid Mustafa Qazwini at IECOC in Costa Mesa. I was in charge of the Saturday school there, and I did the camps as well. There were 2 types of camps. Did that for a couple of years, both the Saturday school and the camps. Al-Hadi School in Bell, I was a full-time Islamic studies teacher. I also taught some art for the younger kids and PE for the older boys. Did that for 1 year full-time. ICCNC was in Northern California. Once I moved up there, I did Sunday school for the K through 3rd graders for a year. And then at Saba Center in San Jose, I would do the English Sinazeni for the children's program. Oops. There we go. So just to prove that I really did it, this is IECOC. These were 2 of the camps we did that year. You may recognize Saba Azizi up there in the upper right-hand corner. She came through. She was in California that year. This is Al-Hadi School, and these are the students. This is when we went out camping into Big Bear, I think. This was ICCNC, so they also had a Farsi school. I taught the Islamic studies stuff. It's a beautiful building. Used to be a Masonic temple, which is why it looks the way it does, but it's amazing. And then this is at Saba Center, doing Sinazeni at the children's program in English. So I write my own English poems. And actually, I thought I have one that's in the works, and I might just give it to you a little bit. I only have the chorus right now, but I was thinking about, I'm just going to give you a little sample of what it's like. So remember, it's for kids. This one I'm preparing for Nima Shaban, inshallah, about Imam Mahdi. So it goes, we're preparing for the day others say is far away, and we're gonna celebrate when we see his blessed face. We're preparing for the day others say is far away, and we're gonna celebrate when we see his blessed face. We obey the Masumi from Muhammad to Mehdi. We love all the Prophet's family and his pure line until the end of time. We're preparing for the day others say is far away, and we're gonna celebrate when we see his blessed face. We're preparing for the day others say is far away, and we're gonna celebrate when we see his blessed face. Still working on that one. I just have the chorus and one verse, but the kids love it. I have ones for Imam Hussein as well, Imam Ali, and it's been working out pretty well. So what's the plan? When do we start? Well, the purpose of this is to educate the next generation of practicing Shia Muslim Americans. I know growing up, I didn't have necessarily a Shia education. The resources weren't there. And it's also hard when you grow up here just to stay practicing. Just that itself is a struggle. In this community, we have about 150 kids. In this building, we'll have about 6 classrooms available. The goal, inshallah, is to start by September. And then we'll have Farsi separately. We may do it on Saturday. My Farsi is terrible, so we'll probably have somebody else run it. But the Islamic studies is going to be like an all-day thing on a Sunday school on its own. And for guidance, I've been using Salam Online. So Salam Online is a part of Sabah Center. They have Rise Academy, which is full-time in person. They have Rise Online, which is remote first, anywhere in the world, full-time. And then Salam Online is specifically for helping other masajid around the world spin up their Sunday schools. So it's exactly what we need. I've been working with Sayyid Abadi. So I was part of the community there for 7 years. And we got official approval from him to collaborate with Salam Online. They have a learning management system that we can plug into for classrooms and that sort of thing if we have to do remotely, or we can do it in the classroom itself, but they will provide that for us. They offer training for the teachers and the admins, and also the curriculum, physical books, and Sayyid promised to give that to us for free for the first year as well. And they also have a lot of expertise. So family handbook is already set, enrollment, scheduling. They can really help us spin this up and make sure that it's successful. And that's what I've done so far, but I do need some help. I need a lot of help, actually. I can't educate 150 kids myself. So what I'm really looking for are some great teachers that are native English speakers, that are experienced with kids, committed, teachers assistants. So people that maybe can't, do this every Sunday, but are willing to kind of help out. PE teachers. So I realized as a full-time teacher in Bell that as a man, there's certain things I can do. Like I can run around and jump and kind of be more physical with the kids than the sisters can. And that's something that the kids love, right? When you can be more physical, more animated, more run around with them, spend time with them. So for the brothers, I need some PE teachers. I need some people that can be more physical to exercise these kids. I need people that can help me plan and prepare healthy meals. I don't want to give them $5 pizza every Sunday. We want to make sure that we're practicing good habits, Islamic habits, and good habits to keep our minds and our bodies also intact and healthy. And I also need admins. So there's people that, aren't necessarily in the classroom. They're not teaching the kids directly, but maybe they can help organize field trips. Maybe they can do scheduling, any sort of thing like that. So there's a lot to contribute. And I would love for some people in the community to kind of raise their hand and let me know that they're willing to help out in this effort. So if you go to Al-Zahra Islamic Center, you'll see in the bottom right, there's the help with Sunday school. I think we already added a bunch of people to the WhatsApp group. So that's also there on the left if you want to join the WhatsApp group just to receive updates and announcements. But for helping with the Sunday school, if you can let me know, there's just a couple of questions, how you'd like to help, what you're good at, and we'll be in touch because we have some time until September, but I need to kind of see how much interest we have. We need to secure the building first, obviously, see what kind of renovations we need. That's all going to take a lot of money up front. And then inshallah, by the time September rolls around, we'll be ready to spin this up and hit the ground running. And on behalf of the board, we want to give a special thank you to Sayyid Qazwini, obviously, Uncle Wahab, who's been helping a lot with contracts and these town meetings, Ahmed Wali and Ali Hashimi for doing the measurements for the blueprints. I have them right here. I didn't get a chance to scan them in, but they did a wonderful job. They needed that for town approval, and for Ahmed for putting those on paper. And also, we want to thank everyone who's contributed, supported, and donated to support this worthy cause. It means a lot. Inshallah, again, we can hear Brother Mujtaba in person, indoors, in a beautiful building. We're almost there. And again, just make sure that you're stretching yourself to whatever you can do. And inshallah, Allah will reward you. So Al-Zahra Islamic Center, donate or pledge. Everyone that's submitted before and everyone that's going to submit until April 1st, receiving payment by April 1st, is eligible for that fundraiser. I may just go up there again just to recap what those prizes were. And then that's it. Inshallah, we can close the building on the 1st of April. And then by the end of Ramadan, maybe Eid al-Fitr, we can either occupy the building or certainly at least occupy the outside and have a big old celebration. So let me just quickly go over those amounts again on the record, because I know I kind of went by them quick. So the turbas, we have 10 of them, and it starts at a $250 donation. Oops. The perfume starts at 500. We have 2 of those. It smells amazing. The necklaces, there's 3, starts at $1,000 donation. Men's and women's rings, we have 1 of each. 2,500 donation will make you eligible. 5,000 for the one-of-a-kind chunk of marble. My Arabic / Farsi is not good enough to read what that says, but I'm sure the audience knows what that is. And then the big prize is the Ziyarah trip, all thanks to Ahlul Bayt Tours. And again, obviously, if you don't win, right, you're gonna win in the hereafter anyway. Allah is gonna return everything that you donate, and then some. But the goal is we really want a place for our kids, right, for the future of the Shia Muslims in this country, to be able to have a place where they can, like when I was growing up, that's the masjid friends were my friends. That's who I hung out with. That's who I was close to, and it gave me a place outside of school, and then outside the pressures of school to kind of go. And it saved me from a lot of things. I don't think I'd be here today if I didn't have my Sunday school friends growing up, and that wasn't even a Shia education. But alhamdulillah, I think it saved me, and we want to make sure that we not just save the kids that are growing up here, but that we help them thrive, inshallah, and make them the best Shias in the world, inshallah. So that is the conclusion of this presentation. We don't have Q&A. This is broadcasting to YouTube, but if you have any questions or you want any clarifications on anything, if you just I should have had a slide for it, but email at alzahra.islamiccenter.com. You can send us anything there. That's our the organization's email, so we can check there. We can get back to you with any questions. Again, donations, the cutoff point is April 1st for receiving payment to be put into the raffle. And I think that's it. So thanks again to everybody on this list. Thank you again for attending. May Allah reward you. Nowruz Mubarak, Eid Mubarak. And we'll see you later.